they have a lot of disengage, and their late game is insanely strong with Maokai's 20% damage reduction, Rise just beefy, does tons of damage, Ezreal, um, and Irelia. So I think mid game, it's up to blue team to make plays. They have great catching potential, but they will fall off hard despite having Vayne. I think blue purple team are a better comp.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with you. The other thing I'm kind of looking at, though, is... So Switch one's actually pretty good on Aurelia. He knows Aurelia, played a lot of Aurelia. He's going to be going against Anttran, which is pretty safe on Kennen. And then you have Winster in mid lane, though, against RoshanNow. Cassiopeia is a really good matchup versus RoshanNow. And all I'm thinking when I'm looking at Maokai and Rise right now, between those two and knowing them, having seen them play together... I fully expect the gank bus to be coming to that mid lane and ganking the crap out of Winster in order to get an advantage.
They'll have the military base set up.
Yeah, like it's gonna be happen. I mean, like
at one point, long, they're just gonna like leave saplings to gank for him.
Question, because I don't know what is that medal that's in the top left?
Oh, it's like honor. I don't know how many honors you need. But apparently Longley is an honorable opponent.
I disagree. He's a jerk. No, he's actually a really nice guy in real life. Got a chance to have him, Roshan, Bishu, Altek, and Claymore even stay at my house for EoS for that weekend. And they were pretty cool guys. Love to hang out with them again. Except for Altek's like 15, so that's weird. But you know, he's a cool. They're a bunch of cool guys. They're a bunch of nice guys, and I'm glad to see that the good players aren't like, you know, stuck up douchebags. That's always the most refreshing thing to see.
I remember there was Evil Cookie's like seems to be a pretty good Blitzcrank or something along those lines. You always bring that up, like, oh, Evil Cookie's playing Blitzcrank, he'll land all the grabs.
Yeah, Hook City. That's what he's all about. It's all about the Hook City.
I think bottom lane is going to come up to if Vayne can follow up with a Condemn on their grabs. Otherwise, I think Ezreal and Taric will win the exchanges just because Vayne's just natural pretty poor laning phase. I think Irelia will get bullied in lane till about level 9 or probably 7ish when she has enough punch and Heathen Style and Kennen she just ignores. And I think it's up to Maokai to win mid lane for Roshan.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's the case, especially Cassiopeia versus Rise. I mean, that's just not a good matchup mechanically.
When he was playing Veigar with blue buff, he was down 20 CS. So like now he's counterpicked. It's gonna be pretty bad.
So both teams start out really quick here. You know, what team do you think has, you know, you sided with RoshanNow, but you have a pretty stacked team on Anttran's team, the Comeback Kings. Do you think they might have some magic in them to pull off this game in the semifinals?
Maybe, but I think seeing Roshan's team and just how strong their level 1 is, I think if they were to have a fight right now, they'd win. And I think late game, RoshanNow's team wins. So I think Roshan will win this game, just like my prediction. But Anttran have a chance. They have to do or die mid game.
Wow, running right over that ward, well placed there at the blue buff.
This is really good for Roshan's team. Like they have a lot of CC. If they play this right, they could easily pick off the killer too.
Yeah, I think blue team feels really confident because they have that Blitzcrank there. But like you said, the potential with like the CC and, you know, if they really catch someone out here level 1, they just have them. They're dead to rights. So
I don't know. I think if purple team were a bit more assertive, they could have made something out of this. But just the presence of Blitzcrank pushes them away.
I think part of it, though too, is, you know, just going with the thought process that if you feel like you're the better team or you have a really good team comp, you know, maybe it is better
to play it safe.
Yeah, just play it safe here, take the early stuff, not try to force something at level 1 and, you know, have something go wrong. But so far, it's like the first team that I've seen go through, you know, recently I've casted I think I've casted 4 games of RoshanNow teams. Oh, they grab him for blue buff, but the rest of the team is there, and
Oh, that
Evil
was
Cookie flashed
really
him
well
out.
played along with. He stood. They had it worded. The new blitzers tried grabbing the blue, but they weren't able to capitalize.
Yeah, really well done right there. Really smart heads-up play by Longleaf. But it's one of the first times, like I was saying, it's one of the first times too that I've seen a RoshanNow team not go and get a big, huge level 1 advantage. So good on them for holding that off. You need to see a different matchup in this top lane, Swift one versus on Aurelia, so someone he's very, very comfortable with playing against the Kennen, who Anttran actually plays a really, really mean Kennen. It's part of what got him up to his 2K ranking. And Dark Terror's Evil Cookie, I've actually seen this before quite a bit. From them, Dark Terror's really good AD player. Was put top for EoS for the 5v5, but he is an AD player at heart. Really good on that vein, and combined with Evil Cookie's Blitz, could be a recipe for them to get an advantage for that bottom lane. But as we've seen from Benny Honda, he's been able to just kind of, he had a bad lane matchup before, and he still, was able to endure.
Yeah, he was able to keep up, and he has the advantage because Vayne is basically her trade is all by her auto attack. She's not like Graves, who's a burst caster in a sense. He's able to, even if he has an attack speed slow, it doesn't affect his Q or R. While Vayne solely depends on her auto attacks to get damage off. So winning trades bottom should be fairly easy for Israel.
Winston might already be in trouble. There's the flash, the root, twisted advance, ignite, and that is a kill for sure. RoshanNow just needs to survive, which it looks like he's going to be able to do. And, as we called early on in the team select,
the military base has been established.
Yeah, exactly. Hipster tried to do a good job to zone, but, once that shackle got put down, the follow-up was pretty easy for Longleaf. I mean, and that's one of the easiest lane gank combos to pull off. Like, you have to pretty much be, like, once one of you lands either ability, you have to be pretty much brain dead to miss that.
A lot of harass going down on Dark Terrors. Just the poke and the inability to trade because of the attack speed slow.
Yeah, I mean, I like that play a lot. Also, taking advantage of the fact that they have a sustain in lane versus, a group that does not. They have to be pretty aggressive. And Evil Cookie has to really land a grab for him to have a real advantage in lane, or zone out really well with his grab. But he doesn't have a lot of options to do that. Arcane Shift, a great thwarter of blitzcrank grabs.
and if he does grab Tarek, he's setting Vayne up for free dazzle to the face.
Yeah, exactly. So really, right now, I'm actually pretty impressed with Benny Honda's play right here. Skarner trying to sneak up for a gank on the Swift one. I think the Swift one's already reeling and getting pushed, so this might actually be a good counter gank here, as Longleaf's looking to get in here at some point. But I think Swift one's so low, he can't really support. If Longleaf comes in here, he's actually going to be in a lot more trouble than he can see right now. I think maybe his Spirit Sense might be tingling that something else is going on up in this top lane, because he's not biting.
I think what Nappy and Daru is doing is pulling freeze air, just camping that top rush.
And look how low Swift one is, still sitting here.
All he needs is boot system.
Oh, twisted advance. He finds himself with Skarner. Anttran is going to get taken down. Swift one might be able to survive. No, he's not going to be able to. Nappy Roo is going to be able to pick off a kill. Now he's trying to trade Longleaf very, very low. Both of them are just going to trade out here. So both top laners trading, and jungler's just backing off out of it.
Despite getting that kill lead, Roshan still getting bullied in lane.
Oh yeah, the base has to be kept up and established. You can't just how about it?
He can't leave the base. Oh, he flashes out of the last Q, and he should be fine.
Yeah, the thing about getting away from Cassiopeia too is that Q, Noxious Blast. A lot of players don't actually know, but it gives her a speed increase. So if you keep getting hit by that,
oh,
it's going to be
going
way
down
faster
bottom.
than you.
Both exhaust. Dark Terror is extremely low. He gets the ignite off.
The ignite.
That's
yeah, that's GG. A great pull underneath the tower by Evil Cookie, though. Making some plays. I love it.
Oh, and a kill going down in mid lane. Just the military base. Pumping out troops.
Yeah, exactly. Command and Conquer style, making it happen. But yeah, I mean, definitely great play there, and pretty much what we expect from the middle lane too. But bottom lane, I mean,
Yeah, great play by
that
Evil
Blitzcrank
Cookie.
grab salvaged what would have been just a complete
Yeah,
victory for Red Team.
they would have had that
And what we're seeing
pretty
from
aggressive counter jungle for this blue buff.
yeah, I mean, and what we're seeing from Longley and RoshanNow, just like as you know, the high level players that they are, they just have better map sense than their opponents, and so they just said, "Hey,
This
we know
really
Cassiopeia is dead. We know that their jungle's probably backing here. Let's go in there. Let's make this happen." And you know, perfect timing, and they're able to run out here with blue buff, and blue team can't do anything about it.
So Benny, you're doing a great job keeping up in CS with Dark Terrors. Well, Aurelia's a bit behind, but after about level 9 or 7, when she has enough sustain, Kennon's harass won't be much.
So there was a good grab there, but what Evil Cookie quickly found is he was not tanky enough, especially with no mana to stop us. We have a jungle fight going on here. Napier really wants to take this blue buff, and from Longley, and Longley's like, nope, not going to happen, buddy. But wow, Roshan now under a lot of trouble right here. He has some backup from his team. Mates Dark Terrors coming up into this fight. They're going to be able to take out Roshan now. Napier actually pulling the enemy team into the trip. Oh wow, this is beautiful! Absolutely beautiful play by the blue team, and they that grab. Oh, amazing reaction time by Longley to get to grab.
That was a poor fight. They didn't have any vision on the river of what could have happened, and I don't think they were expecting Kennen to be down there.
Yeah, they definitely. Yeah, they definitely weren't expecting Kennen on the rotation, and really a poor path ultimately by RoshanNow, and which led to him getting picked off. And then after that, I mean, Skarner just tanking in there, knowing his limits, and playing that really, really well. So it was looking like
living on the edge.
Might have been a bad scenario for blue team. They've given up a lot of ganks and mid and stuff like that, but they come back with 3 really quick kills, and they're sticking with it. I really like the fight that's in this team.
Swift unable to catch up and go ahead in CS, running that downtime.
Yeah, I mean, looking at Swift 1 right now, 52 CS versus top 40, so that rotation not helping him. And yeah, I mean, he's getting to the point like you called where he can actually, sustain in there, hang in there, and he can't be bullied out of lane. So I really like to see that from him.
Maokai with double buffs. I like the early oracles by Skarner after they got a lead there on the dragon, and they want to kind of shut down all map control and push their lead. I think for Skarner, his main focus needs to be bottom lane, while mid lane.
Here's another engage on middle lane, pulling off that combo. RoshanNow taking too much damage, and even though Winster falls, he's able to take RoshanNow with him. And now Dark Terror's picking up a kill in this bottom lane, and they might have a double kill up here. Great,
that was really well
great
played.
Dance by Dark Terrors, picking off a kill there, and this is blue team are on fire right now.
My team's kind of falling apart. They're not trading as well. They're losing trades, and I think they need to slow it down and kind of reevaluate what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, like you said too, a lot of their strengths lead into the late game. Riot's getting to late game, but then you see them trying to fight to force all these ganks mid. Riot's only picked up 1 of the kills out of all of them. Maokai's sitting with 3 of the kills, but Maokai with a lot of kills on him, not really scary. He has 3 of the kills, and then Cassiopeia meanwhile is still able to trade and kill you while you're trying to pull off a gank. I mean, that's a scary proposition, and they really, like you said,
Dark Terrors has the highest in the game with 3.7k, while the highest on the other team is Maokai with 3.5k, and the problem there is Maokai really won't do much with the gold.
Yeah. He's rocking a lot of gold
gank on top lane. Longley getting off his on a counter gank impaled by Skarner. This might be a double kill.
Oh, it's going to be really, really close. I think Naparu's fine, actually, and they shouldn't chase this. Yeah, they're going to back off out of this. That was really close, though. Swift one taking an extra tower
Both
shot.
teams picking up in early oracles. They don't want to risk it.
They need to make sure they
Oh,
keep that Oracle.
they're going around for a dive.
This could be a good decision. I mean, they don't have. He doesn't have his ult up. So
Grab on bottom lane.
Oh no, they're just gonna get it for free. He's gonna come to them. They don't even have to dive then. Brilliant play, outthinking their opponent.
The final Q on Dark Terror's bottom. Was nearly able to secure that kill. Cookie going for the grab. Oh, he missed.
Yeah, I think right there, I think a lot of the focus was on Tarek, and so one of the things I do when I'm blitzed in that situation, I'll go for the person that thinks they're not getting picked. I think Ezra was an easier, he can react with Arcane Shift, but if he doesn't, he was in a bottleneck right there. I might have hedged my bets towards him instead of Tarek in that situation, but that's just me. Obviously, Evil Cookies land some good grabs. Dark Terrors is playing his vein, his solid vein that he normally does, and they're looking really, really good right now.
They're winning the trade, but he's able to follow up with the condemn. And I think blue team's playing really well to their strengths, while red team needs to start playing to their strengths.
Yeah, I mean, right now they were trying to go in there, trying to spend some resources to take this blue buff. They weren't able to do it. Longley trying to catch someone in rotation. They're going to get Cassiopeia, but again, Cassiopeia, can put out a lot of damage. They don't have enough damage to quite burst down right away. They are going to be able to take out Rise. They might be able to pick up 2 kills for 1 here. It looks like they are going to be able to do it. Aurelia and Maokai very, very healthy at this point.
Well, fight going on bottom lane. And that's...
yeah, Dark Terrors has that. And you do not want to trade good Contam against the wall. Oh, the grab hitting a minion. Oh, jump it. He jumps in, knocks them up, and then there's no follow-up. For shame.
I think bottom...
Might be in a little bit of trouble here, depending on how this Maokai goes. Oh, wow. Had the vision. Goes in there right away. Trap. The present's not going to land in time. And there's not enough damage there for Maokai. Oh, the True Shot Barrage. Almost a double kill. Comes in. That was almost the sickest play ever. Evil Cookie just barely lives. Oh, man. That was dirty. That was pretty dirty.
Great job by Benny. He's already behind. And that will really help him out. Catch up and actually be able to trade with Vayne.
Yeah,
we see Dark Terrors going straight up for a Phantom Dancer. No Bloodthirster, no BP, just straight up. While he maxed Silver Bolts first.
Yeah, it's definitely doing it for that attack speed.
Yeah, so he's going for more of a early on attack speed though.
I mean, that was a lot of the way that a lot of people felt that you should go with Vayne. And, he's played Vayne so much that I have to side with him on his decision here in this lane.
Military base returning to middle. Just waiting for the perfect opportunity. But we see a grouping for Dragon.
And, Longley's been through there. He's actually been doing a good job clearing out a lot of blue team's wards. I don't think blue is really quite as set up for this as they want, but they have Ken right there waiting around the corner, and he might come in now, although they did see him right there. Throwing on another ward. Swift one rotating in here.
Getting pulled over, barely getting away. I think they're going to trade it for mid tower. Or they might still try contest.
Yeah, it looks like they're committing to this. Which, how this team fight goes could decide the way, a major portion of this game goes. I think if blue wins this fight pretty handily, they're going to have a lot of advantage. There's a good pickoff right there, although it is Longley. It's not necessarily the target they want. Great ult by Cassiopeia coming out there. They're starting to try to do the cleanup. Swift one coming back in here. Benny Hanna coming down from behind. He's going to be a tough target to chase if they want to commit to this. I don't think they're going to be able to get him. Both teams basically trading 2 for 1 there.
So coming out with the win on the trade. But since Maokai had no oracles, it was actually more of like...
Well, no, because Skarner had oracles too, so...
Oh, okay, so it was more of like a 3 for 2.
Yeah, basically. And ultimately, it looks like blue team, though, is going to be able to pick up a tower, and they're going to be able to pick up Tarek here. Great grab by Evil Cookie, just lying in wait, although a lot of damage going on to him afterwards. And as tanky and scary as Blitzcrank looks and feels in the early game, he is very squishy against later game. And now we have 2 carries with 2 carries. This is a kind of interesting duel going here in bottom lane. Looks like Blue team's keep
Roshan
thinking of
doing a good
ability and
job
run.
taking mid tower.
Yeah, smart play by him.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
The infinite slow Skarner trying to run down the Rise. Shackle's going to come in here, and we'll have Twist Advance to help him out. Skarner in full retreat now, but he is going to go down. But Rise is in very much trouble right now, but the Noxious Blast is going to miss from Winster. Winster probably should have actually tried to land it on to Long Lead to get the speed boost buff.
Oh,
Probably
Dark
could convert it into
Terror's
something,
bottom
but he's
lane
not
did
going to
a
be able
great
to do it.
job. Oh, will he live? Oh, the level up saved him.
Oh wow, okay. Well, we're gonna have to go back and see this action. So Benihana, Dark Terrors wanted to trade a bottom lane, using a great job with that brush and the ultimate. And yeah, right there, getting the kill, sustain, living. Nice little duel in that bottom lane with Dark Terrors coming out on top. Dark Terrors making some plays for his team. And we have a good game on our hands, heading around again that 20-minute mark. Pretty even game. Red with a just barely slight lead.
Over. Oh, and that's surely the Cassiopeia. Long lane finishing off with this knockup.
Ooh, yeah.
Top lane, there seems to be a pretty big lead on with Aurelia. She's 2 levels up now because it's reached that point where Skarner's Kennan's unable to trade with Aurelia because he won't sustain that damage back.
What's actually kind of funny to watch because Swift One right now we see them in 2 games, and both games it kind of started off kind of shaky. Didn't look like he was doing that well. And the next thing we know, we look up there and he's 2 levels ahead. And oh wow, they layered that so well. They layered that so well. There's no damage. There's nothing Maokai and Atarak are gonna do to face that. So they're just out of there, and that was just complete dominance and control of this bottom lane right now, going on by Evil Cookie and Dark Terrors.
They're kind of keeping the team still relevant.
Red team's turret
It'll be
has
up
been
to
destroyed.
Aurelia to shut down Vayne during these mid-game skirmishes.
Winston going to pick up his blue buff. A lot of teams kind of doing like a nice little ward check right now. Blue only has a ward pretty much at the back of Dragon. Otherwise, they have wards nowhere. And red looks like they have a ward at Dragon and another ward out front of Baron. So they're basically only covering those key locations, but not a lot of wards from either team right now. But then again, Longlead missing his Oracle, so no Oracles actually for either team, it looks like. No team has rebound Oracles. Maybe Skarner will when he goes back here. But at this point, it wouldn't do him too much good because there's not very many wards on the map. But I expect one team to try to gain some vision control as they start to take down some turrets here.
Oh, skirmish going on top lane. Cannon popping his ultimate. For defensive purposes, it seems.
Yeah, and as we saw right there, like you were talking about earlier, the sustain from Aurelia, she basically takes that, doesn't really care. So tanky to this point. Has a Hex Drinker. Next MO obviously is going to be Triforce more than likely, looks like for her.
We see Maokai getting that early Aegis, going for our Granduans. Ezreal going for Trinity Force. Aurelia going for Trinity Force. And Rise getting the early Rod of Aegis.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Rod of Ages on him now after he got the tweaks where his AP did a little bit more damage. Combined with mana, it's a really strong item on him. And oh, we have a little bit of engagement underneath turret. A lot of CC going down. Great ult again by Cassiopeia. Turns around. Dark Terrors
great grab by...
be able to just shuck off so much damage. They take down Rise. And
Great
Dark
grab by
Terrors going to live just barely again. Yeah, Evil Cookie's had some serious grabs. You talked a little bit about it earlier about how he has some great grabs, and we've seen quite a few this game.
Yeah, I think the problem right now with Red Team is they're doing the same thing they did when they got ahead. They're trying to force skirmishes and not playing through their strengths.
Yeah, and right now the blue team just looks like they're better and craftier at these skirmishes. And mid turret's just basically, a sneeze away from falling. Top turret still.
Oh, they have kill on bottom Ez.
Oh wow! Was he just hanging around? Just got caught because That's a silly death for his team, at least at this point. Looks like Swift was going to be able to take top turret, help out his team a little bit in gold there.
Yeah, they need to slow down the pace again and kind of go back to kind of a delayed laning phase. They don't want to go into mid game because their mid game would be weaker, especially seeing how far Vayne is of Israel.
Wow, and
They
they're set
really
up
want to
here.
stall to late game.
Longley is much the wiser. He knows you're in that bush, but he does have an oracles here. So they could get some ward advantage, if they're able to actually get out somewhere safely and start to clear the wards. Because right now with a lot of these, the champion lineups they have here between Skarner, Blitzcrank, and stuff like that, it's a very scary proposition to be caught out anywhere. Pretty much everybody on the blue team has some form of CC they can dole out.
Yeah, really strong mid game, pick potential, and just really weak.
So red team still with a little bit of a lead here. Blue team looks like they're just kind of waiting around for their next moment to strike. If you were blue team and you've had this advantage, do you want to go out there and try to pick a fight, or what are you looking to do if you were on the blue team?
Seeing how the fights have been going, I'd be really confident in starting a fight right now. Seeing how Israel is 4 and 6. As long as Aurelia is not at the fight, like right now, Aurelia is stopping. She's in a way of coming to the fight. I'd engage 4v5s, 4v4s, 3v3s, as long as Aurelia isn't there, because the one thing that could change this game for like really help purple team is if Aurelia gets to a point where she can just jump on Vayne and Vayne is just dead.
Yeah, I mean that looks like what the Swift one is going for. He's at 155 CS. He's almost leading the game in CS. Dark Terror is the only one trying to match him, but Aurelia is that real terror. After she hits that critical point where she gets her Triforce, and she just started diving your AD carry, and she's a hassle to deal with, especially after she gets GA. Because all that CC reduction, I mean, you have all the CC to try to peel her, but she gets reduced, and it's tough to deal with. So that's definitely that's kind of the clock they're running up against. You're kind of spot on, I believe. I'm pointing out that like now is the time where they're really really strong and they need to try to make something happen. But it looks like they're just kind of cruising, coasting through it. If I could say. And we may have a fight here. Dragon is in contention. The question is, will they go in on it? So running through here.
Purple team doing a good job. Red team staying on top of the objective. This fight will be really important.
Great cannon ult, slicing Maelstrom. The takedown RoshanNow right away. Winstor's still alive. They have some sick DPS. But they need to keep track of the enemy team. They don't really have any carries left. They've been all taken down. They only have Skarner and Blitzcrank, and that's not going to get it done.
While it was a good fight in a sense, they were able to get Rise really fast. They were able to get a lot of the AoE damage. Like I said, they do not want to pick a fight with Aurelia there. Aurelia just chewed through their team and reached like basically a point where she was able to take out Vayne and basically change the tide of the fight.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely need Vayne to be up and functional in order to deal a lot of damage, get through characters, especially like Longley. Longley's Maokai right now is built so tanky. Not that he would be a primary target, but like he's just a big dude that's going to get in the way and start doling out some damage.
He's able to kind of lock people down and not really take any repercussion for going in.
Funny enough, I think at this point in the game, yes, he still has the most gold in the game. It was 8-1-9. He has 10.6k gold, and he is he's 1.6k gold ahead of the enemy Vayne on Dark Terrors, which is pretty funny. Like that's a pretty solid jungle Maokai going down right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him getting a death cap or something like that. Just for the extra damage.
Yeah, he just finished off Randuin's too now, so he's going to have that extra, a slow and stuff like that as he dives in there. And just even more trouble for...
I believe it was Mandatory Cloud. He played a bit of mid Maokai for his team, I can't remember when.
Yeah.
But it was a really long time ago, and it's really safe.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it on some unorthodox play and stuff like that. And, you can catch, a lot of people are used to playing against it. Yeah, it's been played really well. And red team looks like they're kind of getting, they're kind of building their lead right now. Like there's a lot of pickoff potential, some great pickoff potential. I mean, Blitzcrank and Skarn are two of the best pickoff artists in the game, and that's really kind of what
If
Blue's
picking
going to have to
someone
wait
up,
for.
it needs to be Aurelia or Ezreal. Seeing how as Rise might be a carry, he isn't the tankiest. I mean, he is pretty tanky. So focusing him isn't quite as sensible.
Yeah, it's interesting to see, how this is going down right now. It looks like Ezreal just coming back. He's bought up now. He has a red buff. And I'm waiting to see, how these two teams decide to engage. Blue team
It's
definitely
really
wants to try to pick someone off. If they can.
what makes the first move.
If they can get a high priority target and deal with Aurelia, they might have a chance. Right now we just
Oh,
have that positioning game.
Roshan now knowing that Baron's clear, knowing that if blue team won it, they'll have to come fight for Baron buff. Oh, this could be disastrous.
Oh, they weren't prepared for it.
Oh, that's a
Winster
quick
dies
off.
instantaneously. Slicing Maelstrom coming in here, but it was outside the knockout. Now it's back into it. And a lot of the red team is low, but the blue team is more low. And they have been able to properly focus all the 80 carries. The only person left is Evil Cookie's going to get in and grab there just for funsies. And red team looks like they're going to roll the rest of this game, possibly to a victory.
Yeah, they've gone ahead, and with their late game comp, there's really not much the other team can do. Skarner uses ulti for defensive purposes, because as soon as they killed Aurelia, Kennen did zero. I mean, as soon as they killed Cassiopeia, Kennen did zero damage to Aurelia, and she literally just jumped on Vayne and almost killed her, and then she had to be pulled away. I think RoshanNow are gonna end it now.
Yeah, I mean, they can end it now. The rest of the team's going to be up in a couple seconds, but it shouldn't be able to be stopped. I think a lot of it, too,
They
is...
played. They played it out well. I do think that the game might have been smoother. They could have won a bit faster, but nonetheless, it was a great game.
Yeah, actually, really well played by the blue team. I thought, they had a really good fighting chance. Were making a lot of great plays, but they kind of missed that window. And yeah, as we saw right there, red team's
They
kind of
missed timing where Aurelia wasn't fighting with them,
yeah.
and Aurelia snowballed the game.